Hello and welcome to another LOTRO Secrets video with me, Balthelion. Today's secret is not so much a hidden place you can find in game, but rather an amazing piece of lore hidden in plain sight that only the biggest lore buffs would have spotted. If that's not you, then prepare to be amazed. Today's topic concerns the Lament for the Rohirrim, otherwise known as the Horse and the Rider, a poem which in the books is sung by Aragorn as he, Gandalf, Legolas and Gimli approach Edoras. The poem goes as follows. Where now are the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? Where is the helm and the hauberk and the bright hair flowing? Where is the harp on the harp string and the red fire glowing? Where is the spring and the harvest and the tall corn growing? They have passed like rain on the mountain, like a wind in the meadow. The days have gone down in the west, behind the hills, into shadow. Who shall gather the smoke of the dead wood burning, or behold the flowing years from the sea returning? In the films, the poem was instead given to Theoden to recite as a lament for his people prior to the Battle of the Hornburg at Helm's Deep, delivered to perfection by the amazing Bernard Hill. However, in the films, only the first, fifth and sixth lines of the poem are used.
Where is the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? They have passed like rain on the mountains, like wind in the meadow. The days have gone down in the west, behind the hills, into shadow.
So far, a lovely poem and an awesome recital. But in The Lord of the Rings Online, the lament takes on a deeper meaning, and the words are not simply a metaphorical lament, but a rather literal one. Many of the references used in the poem are in fact banners of the many lords of Rohan. Let's break them all down, line by line. First up, where now are the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? The horse could be interpreted two ways. Firstly, the banner of Edoras itself is a white horse on a green field. Secondly, and more likely in my opinion, is the banner of Faldham in the Norcrofts, which is a horse's bridle. This could be taken to symbolise both the horse and the rider, since it represents the union between both. Next up is the horn, which is the symbol of Forlaw in Wildemore, also used by the surrounding settlements in that area. Moving on to the second line, where is the helm and the hauberk and the bright hair flowing? First we have the helm, which is the banner of Cliving in the Norcrofts. Next is the hauberk, which is the banner of Harwick in the Wold. And finally we have the bright hair flowing, which is the banner of Woodhurst in the Stone Deans. Moving on, the third line reads as follows. Where is the harp on the harp string and the red fire glowing? The harp on the harp string is represented by the banner of Eoworth in the Entwash Vale. Meanwhile, the red fire glowing is the symbol of Stoke in the Broadacres. Continuing on to the fourth line, we have where is the spring and the harvest and the tall corn growing? The harvest is represented by the banner of Garfeld in the Sutcrofts, while the tall corn growing is the banner of Snowbourne, also in the Sutcrofts. These two are quite appropriate given that the Sutcrofts in-game are represented as rich farmlands. In the fifth line we have they have passed like rain on the mountain, like a wind in the meadow. This one might be a bit of a stretch, but the rain on the mountain could perhaps be represented by the waterfall banner of Wolstow, which depicts what is presumably the nearby falls of Rauros, nestled between the peaks of Amon Hen and Amon Law. I couldn't find a banner that felt appropriate to the wind in the meadow reference though. Moving on to the sixth line, we have the days have gone down in the west, behind the hills, into shadow. Now this one is represented by the banner of Grimslade in the Westfold, home of Grimbold, and it is full of symbology. First, you have the typical day-night meaning, with the sun setting in the west, which given the geography of Grimslade in the game, the sun would indeed set to the hills behind the west. Second, you have the meaning of west in the sense of men of the west, taken to mean that the glory of man is fading at the end of the Third Age. And lastly, it could even be taken as an ill omen for the Lord of Grimslade himself, Grimbold, as he perishes in the Battle of Pelennor Fields outside Minas Tirith, so he himself perishes behind the hills from his home, and also falls into shadow. The 7th line reads, "Who shall gather the smoke of the dead wood burning?" I couldn't think of an appropriate match for this one, but it could perhaps be interpreted as the beacon banner of Beacon Watch in the Eastfold. The 8th and final line is, "Or behold the flowing years from the sea returning." This could be represented by the waves banner of Floodwind in the Wold. Or, if you want to get more philosophical, you could interpret the flowing years as being the river Anduin flowing into the sea, only for one day the sea to return and drown out the land, as has happened in other parts of the world by the time of the Third Age. In which case, it could be a sight beholden by the statues of the Argonath, which is the banner of Elfengels in the Norcrofts. So there you have it. When you factor in all the banners mentioned, the lament takes on a whole new meaning. One last time then. Where now are the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? Where is the helm and the hauberk and the bright hair flowing? Where is the harp on the harp string and the red fire glowing? Where is the spring and the harvest and the tall corn growing? They have passed like rain on the mountain, like a wind in the meadow. The days have gone down in the west, behind the hills, into shadow. Who shall gather the smoke of the dead wood burning, or behold the flowing years from the sea returning?